Hi Cancer, how are you? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina, otherwise known as Sinfulpluto, and today we are doing your love predictions for this Venus and Taurus transit. This may apply to Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it might not apply to everyone, and that is okay, brother. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest that doesn't. Also, keep in mind that these love predictions are not strictly romantic love. They relate to all forms of interpersonal relationships. And yeah, if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at sinfulpluto. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you think, your feedback, anything that you would like to share. Share this video with your friends, family, loved ones, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and see what's going on for you, Cancer. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Shit, okay, well, that flew out. All right, we have the Ace of Wands that came out, King of Swords reversed. We have the Six of Swords reversed. All right, the Lovers, Ten of Swords reversed, Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Seven of Swords. All right, so having this as the overall energy in terms of what's going on in your interpersonal relationships, it seems as though either you or someone else might not be completely honest about something. Maybe you're keeping secrets or somehow being deceptive in some way. Maybe you find yourself kind of saying little white lies, or I don't know, like maybe those like little white lies are kind of building up for whatever reason, right? And you just find yourself telling more and more and more. And it feels a lot more disingenuous, whether it's on your part or on their part. Just not being completely forthright, not being all that clear as to how you feel or what your intentions are or whatever the case is, right? Maybe some of you feel as though you have kind of impulsively done something, or you feel as though like you did something out of impulse or out of kind of like reckless abandon. Is that the right phrase? I don't know. And now it seems as though you're kind of dropping everything all over the place because there was a lack of strategy. There was a lack of planning. You know, maybe some of you may have jumped into some sort of dynamic far too quickly without really getting to know the person, or without, I don't know, really understanding what you were getting yourself into. Maybe that's a possibility for some of you. And so we have this Ace of Wands and we have the Lovers. So maybe, you know, you find yourself being very attracted to someone or to something or whatever the case is, right? Ace of Wands can sometimes signify, well, first of all, it can sometimes signify pregnancy, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that's like the case for a lot of you. But with this Ace of Wands and the Lovers, it kind of feels as though you might have, it's almost like you have a new interest or a new love or something. Like there's a new passion, and there might be a lot of like sexual tension in some way, or just like a lot of a good energy between you. A lot of like maybe some form of intimacy, or just feeling like there's some sort of spark, right? But it seems, or maybe you feel a lot of sexual tension towards this person, or you're just really into them, you're really attracted to them physically or sexually or whatever. But maybe this person might not be reciprocating it, or just might not be into it. King of Swords reversed. Maybe this person is kind of aloof, emotionally unavailable. They kind of act like they don't care, or they kind of act a little bit dismissive, or they act as though they don't notice in some way. Or maybe for some of you, you're already in a relationship, right? And maybe this is your partner, right? Kind of emotionally unavailable, not really providing for you in some way. Maybe not mentally providing for you, or like mentally stimulating you in some way, like they're not really doing that. Or for some of you, this King of Swords reverse can be you, in the sense that there is a lack of strategy. There is there's no backup plan. There's no thinking ahead of time. It's this reckless sort of energy of like just not thinking ahead, not being 10 steps ahead, not thinking things through. There's a lot of swords and there's a lot of wands energy here. So there's a lot of mental conflict and there's a lot of passion and excitement and movement. There's a lot of fire. Fire and air can create a bigger fire when used in a not very proper way. I guess you could say it could lead to a fire that isn't like untamed, I guess you could say, if it's not handled properly, I guess you could say. I don't know. Anyways, so the King of Swords reverse could potentially be you. Maybe you are the one who is feeling, you're like not thinking ahead of time, or you're just like not planning things out, not strategizing in some way. And it leads to like this whole thing of like not being able to completely move forward from something, because we have the Six of Swords reverse, which is like a delay in transition, a delay in moving forward, a delay in moving on in a new chapter in your life. Okay, so for some of you, it could be that, okay, so there is something that there's someone that you're interested in, or someone that you're into, whether it's like as a romantic thing or it's a platonic thing, right? There's that thing, okay? That person that you're interested in. That feeling that you have, that sexual attention, the intimacy, the passion, the excitement, the adrenaline rush, whatever it is, right? There's that thing there. But maybe some of you are kind of not really creating any sort of plan as to how to approach this King of Swords reversed. Maybe you're functioning on a very emotional basis and kind of just like feeling everything, but not thinking things through as to how to get yourself to where you want to be. So maybe you feel stuck in some way. Six of Swords reversed. Maybe you find yourself feeling stuck because it's like you want to shoot your shot and like make it known that you were into this person, but you haven't really created a plan to figure out how to do so, right? For whatever reason it might be. Maybe you're just scared of being rejected, or whatever it is, right? So for others of you, it could be that with the King of Swords, you may have, and with the King of Swords reversed and the Seven of Swords, it could be that maybe some of you have kind of like impulsively did something, or like impulsively shot your shot, and with no plan, with like no strategy, or maybe you're just like impulsively giving into your passions, or impulsively giving into like your like adrenaline, I guess you could say, and end up kind of making some sort of mistake along the way, or hurting other people in some way, or something along those lines. I want to get clarity on this King of Swords reverse. So what is this King of Swords? Who is this? And what is this energy here? Oh, shit. What is this King of Swords reversed here? All right, so what came out was the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords reversed. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is like someone who wants to make an offer, a love offer, or just some sort of offer in general, like they want to make themselves known, but the Ace of Swords reversed is self-sabotage in some way. So it seems as though that by making an offer, you might be self-sabotaging in some way. Like I said, some of you might potentially like be... Okay, you might... Okay, so some of you might already be in some sort of dynamic or something where it's like, if you get close to this other person, it could potentially sabotage things with your current partner. Or by shooting your shot at this moment in time, it potentially could sabotage things with this person that you're interested in some way. And it seems as though Spirit is kind of saying that you need to maintain a sense of self-control, because right now might not just be the time. It could be a timing thing. It just might not be the right time for some of you to shoot your shot or to do something. And so there's kind of like this frustration of like wanting to move forward but not really being able to. It could be that maybe you need to get to know this person a little bit more, or let things kind of settle down before you really decide whether this person is for you or not, or if you actually want to be with them, or get to know them more, or like be their friend, or whatever the case is. What is this Ace of Wands here? What is this Ace of Wands? This is like it could also just be like a new idea, a new creative thing. But this to me just more so feels like attraction, like a lot of attraction. It's something new. Okay, so we have the Hermit to clarify the Ace of Wands, or yeah, the Ace of Wands. So maybe you're attracted, some of you could be attracted to a Virgo, or attracted to someone who's like a loner in some way. Someone who's like a little bit more standoffish. It could also be with the Hermit and the Ace of Wands that you might need to take some time to reflect as to what these feelings are, and kind of like fully flesh them out, I guess you could say, and like unravel them. Why do we have the Six of Swords reversed? For Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Why do we have the Six of Swords reversed? Why is there why is there an inability or refusal to move forward or to transition? Why is there this feeling of being stuck? For some of you, this Six of Swords reversed is kind of like, some of you might need to move on in some way, or you're being encouraged to move on, or you want to move on in some way, but it's like in the process of moving forward, of letting something go, you're still kind of like looking over your shoulder, looking back, hoping that someone is going to stop you. For some of you, maybe this is like an ex or something, or like an ex-best friend, an ex-friend. Like, you're looking for a reason to stay. You're looking for a reason to stay in your comfort zone, to stay in the past. Interesting. Looking for a reason to stay in the past because part of you may not want to move forward. Part of you may not want to do that. I see. Okay. So for some of you, right, there is that new love interest or whatever this is, right? There's that new person, that new dynamic that you're really into, and you really want, like, you want to follow through with it. But I think part of you is stopping because there might be someone that you're still thinking about or still dwelling on, that you're hoping is reaching out to you in some way. And so it seems that for some of you, it's almost like by taking too quick of a leap or not allowing enough time for transition, you might end up sabotaging yourself, right? Like, by shooting your shot too quickly is what it seems like is kind of what ends up shooting you in the foot, I guess you could say. And I think that's why we have Strength, which is asking you to have a little bit more self-control and to kind of just like wait it out, just like wait a little longer. Not necessarily, I mean, for some, it's just like, it's not necessarily to wait it out in the sense of like waiting for this past person, although for some of you it could be that thing, but it's almost as though wait it out to just like wait to follow through, or not wait, but go like follow through with the transition, with moving forward and kind of letting the past be, and then letting things settle. And once things have kind of settled down, then follow through with whatever it is that you want to like do. You know what I'm saying? Because we have this Ten of Swords reversed here, which reads as dragging things out. And with everything that's kind of going on with like the past, right? With the Six of Swords reversed and the Ten of Swords reversed, it's like by dragging things out from the past or dragging out the past in some way, that feels as though it causes a lot more pain, not only towards yourself, but with the other person. And if you can avoid that, it's preferable if you did. If that kind of makes sense. Does that make sense at all? I feel like I'm not adding up right now. But I hope that kind of makes sense, Cancer. It just feels like you need to be rid of the past before you can fully engage with the present or fully engage with this new interest that you have. It's not necessarily fair to have one foot in the door and one foot out. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be... It's not fair to kind of shoot your shot with someone when you're still waiting for someone from the past to like reach out to you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the whole thing. So let's clarify. Yeah, because we have the Six of Swords reversed and the Lovers. So it's like there's still something from the past that you're holding on to. Okay, I see that. I understand now. All right, so let's clarify this Ten of Swords reversed. What's going on with this Ten of Swords? What's dragging out? What is this energy? Can we clarify that? Ten of Cups reversed. Okay. So when the Ten of Swords reversed, this kind of talks about someone who doesn't want to reroute or someone who doesn't want to let go of something. Again, it's like dragging things out, trying to keep something alive, but like the thing is just like already like beat to death. Like it has already run dry. It feels fruitless for one to continue trying to drag things out. And so with the Seven of Cups reversed, this is kind of like the realization of that, the realization, the understanding that, you know, at one point or another, there has to be some sort of rerouting or renavigation or finding a different approach to things, finding a different way to do things, finding a different plan, that sort of thing. And with the Knight of Wands, it seems as though not only are you being encouraged to let go of this past or to allow yourself to fully kind of transition away from the past and go towards something new, but it seems that once you do that, to go full force into the future and to find your independence and to go on some sort of adventure, to take certain risks, to almost be like the knight in shining armor for the other person. And just kind of just like go away from the past, walk away from the past, no longer dwell in that, so that you can guiltlessly pursue whoever it is that you are interested or might be interested in, whether it's like a friend of yours or like whether it's like pursuing a new friend in terms of like literally just being platonic friends, or pursuing a romantic interest of yours, if that kind of makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. I hope that resonated in some way. I feel like I was all over the place with that one. I am so sorry, but I hope it made sense. I hope it was helpful for you in some way. And with that being said, Cancer, I will talk to you later.